Today, let's learn vi, vim, ver, vers pronouns with...
Hell no, no time, sir. Listen, Daily Wire, you done it up.
Brett Cooper show. Brett Cooper joins us now. Were you at that party?
I was not, actually, and I regret not going now. I feel like I really missed out.
It looked like a good party. Phenomenon. Why do you think they want to make a scene out of that?
Well, because it is cool. It's super exciting, and for the first time in like 10 years, the culture has shifted in a way to where young people on the right now are edgy. They're the rebels. And we've been saying that, for the last 4 years. Like, you think you're the resistance, but actually you have every mainstream organization behind you. You have every huge, Hollywood industry behind you. You're not actually a rebel. You're just falling in line with the mob and doing what they say. Like, we're actually the ones that are pushing back and fighting. And I think they finally realized that.
So what does it say if you're considered edgy, that you like the country, you like sports, you get dressed up, you have a few drinks,
yep.
You're normal, you like girls?
I mean, it makes me think of the American Revolution. I mean, we think about those guys, and they were pretty normal, and they were, wanting freedom, and they were wanting the life that we have built now in this country.
And they were pretty young.
They were very young, which I think people often forget. These were, 17 to 22-year-old men who were hungry and huge dreamers, and I feel like we're getting back to that actually in a very cool way.
So where are we going now as a media? Are you now the tip of the spear?
I think that we are moving more and more independent. I just left the Daily Wire. I'm starting my new show. I wanted to be independent. I watched the media landscape change over the last couple of years, but especially leading into this, election. And young people are just hungry for independent voices who are authentic and honest with their audiences. They don't want to hear from traditional pundits 24/7.
Oh, you're saying I'm not going to have a job?
I know. No, you're going to.
Am I fired?
Great.
How many more years do I have, Brett?
No, you're one of my favorites.
Okay.
But I think that it's just changing in that there are more opportunities now. And, as Elon says, we are the media now. So it's not just that commentators are popping up and there's all these new podcasters, but it's normal people who finally have a voice and are able to share their own opinions, whether it's on a Substack or on a post on X that goes viral. People have a voice in a way that they haven't had ever.
Some people think you're cruel.
I know.
They think you're mean, you're a mean girl, you're exclusive, you're not tolerant. What do you say when they say that to you?
I don't care, Margaret. I really don't care. But no, on a more serious note, I think it's that you just don't understand what we believe. And my goal is to help you understand. That's my goal with my show. It's what has always been my goal with my content, is if I can change your perspective on who we are and what we believe and what we stand for, even if it's not to change your mind or change your vote, but to make you have more respect for your friends who think differently than you, then I've done what I want to do. And so I think that it's just trying to reach across the aisle with nuance and empathy. Because I think that things are changing. We saw that in 2024. And so I think there's a lot more progress to be made.
It's like Fetterman. We can have a conversation.
Exactly. There's a lot of room at the Cruel Kids table. I'm welcoming.
All right. Yeah. And Jesse Waters, is that his name? Prime Time? Yeah. Your job is absolutely in jeopardy, buddy. Listen, the media landscape has changed forever, all right? And I don't think that it's ever going back. Brett Cooper just appeared on Fox News a couple days ago. And for those that don't know who she is or why this is even important, let me fill you in, all right? For those of you who have an interest in media and what's going on as far as our social structure goes. I remember one day last year, y'all, I was over my mother's house, right? And, every time I'm over there, we have a conversation about something. And so throughout our conversation on that particular day, she casually mentioned how she was watching YouTube, right? Now, that kind of threw me because my mom is extremely old school, okay? She was born back in the 50s. And she's very much out of the loop when it comes to social media and technology as a whole, right? But she told me that she was watching YouTube videos on a number of different things, from cooking to daily news to current events to things that were going on about the presidential election, everything of that nature, right? And for her to say that really set off the alarm bell for me, like, oh my God, even the older people aren't watching the daily news anymore. They're tuning in to YouTube and content creators now for their information. YouTube is such a fascinating platform and one of, if not, the greatest platform currently in the world in terms of media content. And I know the Gen Zers love TikTok, right? and whatnot, but there's really no other platform out there that rivals the use case of YouTube. You can find and watch damn near anything you want on YouTube about any subject that you want. And the fact that it allows for any ordinary person to pick up a camera, pick up a recording device, right? Record and start a channel it's mind-blowing to me still. Because you have all these people that have the opportunity to create a channel, to create a platform, and it's just right there for the taking. If you have the know-how, the talent, and the dedication to it, right? But let me bring this back to the title. Let me tell you something about Brett Cooper. At just 10 years old, this little girl decided that she wanted to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. By age 15, she completely emancipated herself. Studied at UCLA, took away a major in English literature, and then started taking up various roles in television, right? But that's not even the impressive part of her story. She goes on to sign with the Daily Wire at the beginning of 2022 to launch a new podcast called The Comment Section with Brett Cooper. And moreover, it was exactly what a lot of you get from me, a viral content and news reactive type of channel or type of show, right? She was basically doing hot take reviews, and I won't say hot take reviews because she definitely wasn't clickbaiting, but she's just, kind of commenting on the goings on around the world, right? And so this new media podcast ended up being one of the greatest platforms that the Daily Wire had to offer. Now, let me put this into perspective of why that was so important, okay? She was just 19 or 20 years old. I believe she was 19 at the time that she signed this deal. 19 or 20, doesn't matter. When she signed this deal with the Daily Wire, who, for those that don't know, is an insanely popular media brand. Most of you actually know that Candace Owens was a part of that platform as well. In 2023 alone, they brought in over, $220 million. And, it was reported that they had at least 1 million active paying subscribers. That's huge. That's huge. So anyway, Brett goes on to do the show. And all of a sudden, at the end of last year, she says, I'm out. And everybody is like, wait a minute. What do you mean? You're out? What's going on? First Candace, now you? Right? Now, the rumors on what happened with who and who did what and why she split is for another video. But the bigger takeaway here, for me anyway, is that this 23-year-old girl walked away from a company. I'm sorry, she's a woman now. This 23-year-old woman, young lady, walked away from a company making a ton of money at the time and ultimately bet on herself. Not the first time we've heard this story, right? Joe Budden did it with Spotify, walked away, bet on himself, and he's thriving right now in the media space. Candace Owens was fired by the Daily Wire, says, okay, starts her own podcast, her own show on YouTube, and she's thriving, doing better than she ever has right now. And like them, whatever drama that was going on over there at the Daily Wire, Brett said, you know what? I'm cool on y'all. I'm good. Walks away and bets on herself. Disappears for a month and out of nowhere drops a 2-minute trailer for her new independent show just 3 days ago. 3 or 4 days ago now. Which is currently sitting at above 2.2 million views at the time of this recording. Listen, it was a 2-minute trailer. She dropped it, and it's sitting at over 2 million views. Before she ever said a single word on that channel, this girl already had over 700,000 subscribers with no content. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it. And I've been on YouTube for a little minute now. And then we fast forward a couple days. Couple days later, she has over 1 million subscribers. Drops the first episode, which collects over 1.5 million views in that first episode. And she's back like she never left. Meanwhile, her little backstabby friend, little best friend, Reagan Conrad, a little blonde, who slid right into her spot on the Daily Wire to continue the old podcast, right, is struggling to average 50,000 views with almost 4 million subscribers. Make it make sense. If you have 4 million subscribers, there's no way your video should be getting 50,000 views or less. That's crazy. So what's the point of all this? Modern media has arrived, people. Gone are the days where the majority of the world relied on local news stations to print about what's happening around the world. It's over. People like Brett Cooper, Anton Daniels, Candace Owens, Black Conservative Perspective, all of these channels, all of these people, they all represent what modern media looks like now and the direction that current events is eventually headed in. It has no choice, okay? Current event news is headed, this is the way it's headed across the media landscape as a whole, and there's nothing that CNN, CNBC, or ABC News can do about it. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get ahead of it. They can't. And now, even companies like the Daily Wire have to answer to who? The creators. The tide has shifted. They're no longer holding all the cards, and on top of that, they're forced to deal with the fallout of losing two, not one, but two very successful content creators who were able to pivot from the platform model, right? From the platform model with the big name and the big company behind it into independent media. At a moment's notice, they did this. And all of a sudden, your platform is bleeding subscribers. You're losing your luster and fast. All of a sudden, you're losing the familiar faces that made people subscribe and return to your platform in the first place, and it's your fault. Why? Because you didn't respect the creator. You know how powerful that is? Again, she signed a contract at 19, 20 years old. But you didn't respect the creator that was bringing you in millions upon millions of views per month. I'm going to tell you something. A smart content creator is going to find their worth quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because as it turns out, what she said is true. People want real conversations. They want genuine conversations. They want real people discussing real events and real unbiased thoughts, right? That are unbound by any affiliations to any particular party other than their own personal opinions and beliefs. People don't want that fake media shit no more. It's over. This girl is 23 years old and has a net worth of over 10 million, and that number is about to substantially increase over the course of the next year. And I think it's phenomenal because she did it without an OnlyFans. She told the big branding company that was branding her at first, that had her back, no. She told them no. She took herself off the table as far as a bargaining chip goes. She took herself away from any deals and completely bet it all on black. That's phenomenal. Meanwhile, the Daily Wire, they got to go figure out how to make another Brett Cooper. They got to figure out how to refill the role and the hole that Candace Owens left in the company after her departure. They have growing problems. They're losing, what was it? They said 10,000 subscribers per month now. They have lost over the course since Brett and I would say it's Brett and Candace. Since their departure, they have lost at least 6 to 7 million subscribers, and they're losing more daily. Moral of the story. Never be afraid to bet on yourself when you know that you are good and talented at what you do. Bet it all. See y'all in the next one.